I'm having a really strange day. Hello everyone, Jake here. I want you guys to really know who you're following for your CSGO news, okay? This morning some things happened, other things have happened in the past day or so that have just been, one of you guys, some of you as well, might find out later in life where you look back on yourself when you question the things you did. So I've just wanted you guys to fully understand who I am and who you're watching for your CSGO news. If we can get past that bridge together, I greatly appreciate all of you guys who watch my videos on the daily. Today's going to be a great episode of CSGO news. Again, I'm having a very weird morning, but I hope you guys are having a great day or great night wherever you guys are around the world. Let's get into the episode. And first off, some small updates out there in the NoxFire League. If you guys watched our first video on this, or if you have not, I will link it down below as well. One of the leagues out there, about $50,000 in prize pool, $56,000 to be exact. It's a league in its second season, greatly accused of several things out there. Match fixing, aka match throwing. A few teams accused of that, even teams accused of cheating. And just last week, the X3DMax roster, they were also tweeting out about this. One of their matches, they thought they were being DDosed, and they actually forfeited the match as well. So that even pushed other people out there to think that 3DMax had thrown that match and they left on purpose for betting circumstances. I do not think that's the case. I did talk to David P from that X3DMax roster, guys, after they allegedly got DDosed, and he did say one quick update for all of you guys who've been following this league so far and all of its monstrosities, all of its fixing, and all of its scandal around it so far. It does seem they're going to be changing management or the head admin of the league. Although that will not fix all of the issues, it's a step in the right direction, so that's a good thing. But overall, this league is stuck in that theory right now. Some smaller investors out there, owners, can start this league. They kick $50,000 into a league. They invite some teams. They have some teams join the league, and they make that money back supposedly by fixing the matches of a few of the teams out there, and that's how they make the money to actually pay for the league. It's a genius idea if it wasn't so scummy, and of course, hopefully they do get caught for it. If it is true, as of right now, it still stands. Several teams in this league alone are accused of cheating, throwing, so on and so forth. It's a crazy league, but according to David P from the X3DMax roster, the admin or some head management should be changed for the league. Will it get any less scummy? I don't really know at this point. And in biggest news for this episode out there, guys, it's now been confirmed by listings both by Dust2 as well as the website itself for the DreamHack Masters qualifier. It will be Envy with a brand new lineup. Now, before I get into this, let's bounce off back a few weeks. We still have Swag. He stands alone on that Swole Patrol roster. We have no idea who will be joining him. He alone as a single player still holds technically an IEM Sydney spot as well as an ESL Pro League spot. If this continues and he somehow does not field the roster, of course he likely would lose those spots. But let's think theoretically here. He would become the first single player ever in CSGO history to retain a qualifier / a premier tournament spot by himself as well as a league spot by himself. Now that likely will not happen, but keep in mind as of right now, Liquipedia shows for that IEM Sydney tournament, we're just 5 weeks away from that. It will be United with the spot, but it was actually IEM Sydney, or IEM's their own Twitter, after this instance as well, where Swag lost his roster, but it was still himself on Swole Patrol. They tweeted out the lineup so far that's qualified, and they showed Swole Patrol's picture. So we're not sure right now. I would assume United has the spot, but still, we have Swag, who has not said anything. This guy is he's almost too chill. He has not fielded a roster yet, and unfortunate news as we bounce into the Envy story, it's going to be S0m alongside Android and Fugly to join the roster. And I only say unfortunately because I wanted to see S0m with Swag. I think a lot of us wanted to see that. They actually qualified for that IEM Sydney spot together, and S0m looked tremendous. But either way, I kid you guys not, I might be an Envy fan if this roster does become permanent. Again, confirmed by 2 sources out there. For these qualifiers, if this roster is going to be permanent is a whole new question, but for these qualifiers, it will be minus Drone, minus Cutler. Drone himself also semi-confirming this. Not fully confirming, I understand that, but right around the time of these leaks and these rumors out there, he tweets out both of these, so it seems very likely Cutler and Drone are off the roster. I cannot say too much. I'm not fully confident in Fugly's ability to join this roster, but you can't argue the fact that in terms of accomplishments for the MV roster so far in the past year or so, ever since they had this newly aligned roster, you can't really argue with the lack of success or lack of achievement so far, so why not replace that and Fugly for Cutler? On top of that, though, you guys know my thoughts about Android and S0m. I am super excited about both of these guys. I think S0m so far in terms of qualifiers and what little LAN experience we've seen so far has been tremendous. I cannot wait to see another young up-and-comer out there in the CSGO scene. Yes, I am biased because the last 2 videos I've mentioned S0m and the fact that his mom actually watches these videos, and even yesterday he told me that she watched the other video and said hello and thank you. So that, yes, I'm freaking biased, okay? But I thought the same way before all that happened, and the same thing with Android. I think a lot of us can agree, a widely underrated talent out there. I'm super excited to see the ceiling of this guy and what he can do potentially in the future. And so I gotta say it, guys, after all the swaps out there, Envy are making pure improvements, in my opinion, on paper. And if this roster does stay permanent, I will be an Envy fan throughout this year. Pro League, whatever they do manage to qualify for, if this roster does be permanent, I think Envy made some great changes here. And then very lastly, in the short episode of CSGO News, hopefully gonna be back here tomorrow. I do want to warn you guys, I have... even like, I don't even know, like if I'm talking about it right now, I have a very saddening story to talk about on Friday that I'm considering doing. I'm not really sure if I want to, because if I get emotional, you guys think I'm weak, which you already know I'm weak, but that's probably going to come Friday, so expect that, guys. Kind of a more emotional tied story for CSGO. If you guys follow the scene very closely, you probably know what it's going to be about. But anyway, hopping into our last few stories out there, CSGO update did drop last night, okay? And it's now my least favorite map in CSGO history, that being Vertigo. Besides Zoo, I also don't like Zoo. Again, I don't take my opinion too hard here, guys. Vertigo has now been replacing Cobblestone for competitive matchmaking. Now, all of us can be excited because this should mean likely or somewhat likely, or at least a possibility, that there should be a reworked Cobblestone version to return in time for our next major, or at least speculation points towards that. So the return of the Cobblestone case would be very hyped up for the major. It would make a lot of sense for Valve to do so. I do not see Vertigo going into the competitive pool or the actual pro pool, but for competitive matchmaking, it is now back in there. And again, I can't explain to you guys why. For me, I've fallen off a lot of maps out there that you can actually fall off, but Vertigo is one that I literally cannot stay on. So I never liked Vertigo, guys. My opinion, a lot of people out there love it, so congratulations, is now in the competitive pool play. And also, very lastly, in terms of round loss bonus, super cool, because people were freaking out about this in terms of the math of our new round loss bonus system. It was kind of thrown out there with no real solution, and just a week later, Valve has a solution. It's now in the scoreboard. You guys open up your scoreboard, you hover over round loss, and you find out what the losing team is going to earn if they lose that round. So very, very cool. I love the feature so far, and it definitely saves all of you guys the mental math time to actually try and calculate how much the losing team, or if your team loses the round, how much you're going to receive in terms of income and economy. So great update. Another great update. Dare I say, guys, we had Prisma case go pretty well, some other things alongside that, and now this. I know a lot of you guys enjoy the Vertigo and the new map changes. I still think, dare I say this, I would love to see a random map added to Pro Play. I think a new map is what I should say as well. You know, kind of throw a little wrench in things. But either way, I hope I'm not hyping up Valve too much because I'm really liking these updates so far. They're small in a sense, but also have just a variety of things added to them. And overall, our last 2 updates have been stellar. When's the operation coming?